I mean, I always wanted to ask, you know, somebody. So, I mean, this question is for everybody.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for an African to travel?
Oh God.
Mark.
That's a tough
I mean,
question.
it's hard enough for Jamaicans to travel because we need visa to go everywhere in the world. But being an African, it's like it adds. There's levels, a lot more levels to it. I mean, you guys can post in the comments,
comment below.
comment below what you think it is, what, I mean, I think there's been a stigma has been attached,
Yep.
To Africa
Yep.
over the years. And, like I said, people generalize, Ghana, Nigeria. If somebody in Nigeria does something, then all of Africa get blames. If somebody from Ghana does something, all that, so it's
Yo, greetings, people. Do you agree to what Asafa did say in regards to his view that, Africans do have, the worst of straws when it comes to traveling around, the perception, relationship and everything?
This question is for everybody.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for an African to travel?
Oh God.
Why do we think people from Africa tends to have maybe a much difficult time, when it comes to, maybe moving around, or maybe between us, as Africans moving to other parts of Africa? Is there any reason why, Africans tend to struggle? And possibly for our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, what's been your experience? I know definitely there's no an open door policy for people from Caribbean, to be able to come to certain places, but equally maybe between Caribbean and other Caribbean country, what is it like? I don't know. I want to learn. So if you are moving from maybe Jamaica to St. Lucia, how is it like? Is there a strong, visa requirements that you need to be able to meet, in terms of criteria and that? Because people moving from Ghana to some other African countries, or maybe, between Africa, equally, there is that difficulty, in terms of movement within the African continent.
We are now moving in the direction of eliminating visas amongst ourselves. Let me say this. As Kenya, by the end of this year, no African will be required to have a visa to come to Kenya.
Yeah, it's strange. It's interesting that, some other African countries, I know Kenya definitely, is pushing to make it a visa-free, or possibly may have pushed to make it visa-free, for people to be able to come to Kenya. But between us, is there any reason why between us as Africans, we tend to struggle, to be able to move around? So if I am moving from Ghana to go to even Togo, which is next door, is there any reason why I need to go through immigration, show all those, and possibly there's been instances where there's been people being maltreated, people, bribery and that. Is there any reason why we are not able to support ourselves, to move between our different countries? Anyway, I just wanted to, throw it out there. People, share your view. Because the reality is, if I am moving from England to France, Germany and all that, although they are not in the EU, England is not in the EU, I really don't have to show, I have to show my passport and that's it. There isn't that kind of stringent need for me to go through a process, apply for visas and all that. I don't need that, so as Africans or as black people, is there any reason why maybe between our heads, between our president and prime ministers, is there any reason why they cannot actually support that kind of free movement? If I am moving from Kenya to go to Zimbabwe, what is the visa requirement? Is there any reason why we cannot do that? And interestingly, the question of if I am moving from one African country to another African country, sometimes it takes me a longer time. It takes me a bit of a longer time to move around. And we have to be asking ourselves, and sometimes it's even more expensive to move from Kenya to go to Ghana. Yes, definitely miles and all those things will come into place. But is there any reason why that amongst the African continent, is there any reason why we cannot have that free movement between the Caribbean and Africa? Is there any reason why people have to come through, Europe before they can actually go to Africa? Is there any reason why between them?
I mean, I always wanted to ask, somebody. So, I mean, this question is for everybody.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for an African to travel?
I really can't get it, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I was listening to Asafa Powell and the wife when they were interviewing Wode Maya. And I felt, you know what, this really makes sense. Is there any reason why we can't have that free movement? But equally, let's focus on the point that Africans tend to have a very hard time moving around. And anytime people see you with an African passport, boom, it raises red flags. Especially I know about Nigeria. And sometimes you ask yourself, whoa, what's going on? Oh, maybe it's time that I wish, I wasn't Nigerian. But no, I think it's about time we have to stand together and make sure that whatever differences that they are facing, we stand and talk about it. I will possibly do another video on YouTube where the views that you actually capture or the views that you actually gain in Africa do not pay the same. There's just some kind of discrimination going on. So if somebody lives in the UK and they watch 1 minute of my video or they watch my video, the amount of money that I may be paid is higher than somebody watching my video in Africa. I don't get it. In UK, they don't need that much, The system is set in such a way that people may 9 out of 10 actually have access to internet and they can view videos on the go. In Africa or in some parts, I can only talk about Ghana. People would actually have to go and buy data in order for them to be able to watch my videos. But those people who watch from Africa, their views are not going to be paid. They are not going to be as, of the same value as somebody who watch in the UK. I really don't get it. Is it a way to be able to tap down? Is there a way to be able to reduce our brothers and sisters actually watching our content? And that's a question that I will throw out there just to be able to end it, because that is a discussion that I will be bringing up on another day, to find out whether, even on YouTube, there is discrimination going on. But let's focus on this point. Is there any reason why our brothers and sisters from the motherland, whenever they're traveling abroad, tend to have a bit of a hard time between the different countries and even amongst ourselves? Is there any reason why this goes on? And if so, why can we not make the change? Anyway, guys, subscribe, like, share with other people. Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat. And I'll see you in the next video. I think it's about time we have to look at how we can support ourselves, because the reality is we can look out there, but the systems will not be made for us. We need to come up with our own solutions. All right, people, I'll see you in the next video. Boom.
I mean, I always wanted to ask, somebody. So, I mean, this question is for everybody.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for an African to travel?
Oh, God.
Mark.
That's a tough question.
It's hard enough for Jamaicans to travel because we need visa to go everywhere in the world. But being an African, it's like it adds, there's levels, a lot more levels to it, I mean, you guys can post in the comments,
comment below.
Comment below what you think it is, what, I mean, I think there has been a stigma has been attached, to Africa.
Yep.
Over the years. And, like I said, people generalize, Ghana, Nigeria. If somebody in Nigeria does something, then all the Africa get blames. If somebody from Ghana does something, all that, so it's